Welcome back to The Spiritual Parent. The Supermoon didn't just trigger my kids, it showed me what I still needed to heal. Their big emotions weren't misbehavior, they were asking for connection. Join us today as we lean into conscious, heart-led, soul parenting. I wanted to jump right in today and talk about this supermoon that rocked my house last week. It was really funny because a week before, my husband and I had been talking about how grounded and connected and just really solid our kids were really feeling in their bodies, and they weren't feeling as sensitive as they normally would have been. Things could happen and they would still be grounded, or we could see them problem solve, or we could really connect with them and help them if they were going through something tough. This last week on Thursday and Friday and Saturday, oh gosh, it continued through the weekend, you guys. It felt like nothing we could do could help our kids to just reground. So I have a 10-year-old son right now and a 7-year-old daughter. And as we were working with our kiddos, I would stop and say, "What can I do to help you?" And they were like, "I don't know, Mom. I'm just feeling amped up. I'm just feeling this energy." And it was really interesting because it almost felt like they had come in contact with red food coloring or gotten glutened, which caused these extreme behavior shifts in my kiddos. It's almost like this chemical reaction that I see with my kids. It looks like they've been drinking, honestly, which obviously they have not because they're children. It's just inconsolable sadness or inconsolable anger in them that can come out with that chemical in red food coloring or with gluten. I see it for my kiddos who are super sensitive. And that's what they were going through with this moon. And I kept saying, "I think it's the moon, huh?" And I think to my husband, "I think it's the moon." And he's like, can it affect them that much? I'm like, yes, because it's affecting me. My amount of tolerance level, which is normally here because I work on it every day with meditation and qigong and mindfulness and channeled writing and all of these pieces that I have structured into my lives, Pilates, running, working out, eating healthy, not drinking caffeine usually, all of these things that help me to stay grounded in who I am as a parent, were not helping. My tolerance was down here. And when they would start to act up or have these moments or these reactions, I would start to just wanting to explode at them, which would only make the chaos worse, right? When I'm grounded, they're grounded. I needed to really lean on my husband. I was like, "I'm sorry, but this moon is really affecting me too." And it was affecting him as well, so it was a little bit tricky. So I wanted to share with you guys this supermoon energy. I was talking to a neighbor last night. We were texting when she needed to borrow cumin. Hey, neighbor. And I was like, "What is up? If you come by and you pick up the cumin and there's a lot of intensity in our house right now, I'm going to leave it on my step. But if you hear some kids having a moment, like that's just been the energy in our house this weekend." And she's like, "Yeah, it's that supermoon. We've been feeling it." And it's interesting. She had talked to me about, I'm sharing some of these words of wisdom, neighbor. She had mentioned, it's so funny because we know these things, right? But it takes that third party person outside of us to bring it up, like, yeah, it's the end of the year, and this is the last full moon of this year, 2025, and it's kind of like, I explained it to my partner as, it's like somebody's in the mud, and they're kicking it all up, and the mud's getting really murky, and we're all just festering in this mud, and we're getting out this last boast of energy, that's not really a word, but this last big amplified amount of energy that's coming up. Time for us to strap on our super spiritual parent suits and take those moments when we can to tune into ourselves. This is when Carrie needs to dive deep and think about, why am I feeling like I need to control everything? Why am I feeling like when my kid reacts or gets angry that I need to react or get angry and control it and fix it? And why is it that fear inside of me? When I dive deep, I looked at this for myself, and I'm looking at it right now as I'm talking to you guys. It's coming up, and it's that moment to grow, heal, learn, because I am not a non-changing human. I'm ever-changing, and especially being so sensitive, I am like a thermometer for energy in our house. I am feeling my kids. I'm feeling my husband. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling neighbors, community, friends, family, extended family. If my mom's upset and she's having a rough moment, or even if her dog's upset and having a rough moment, I'm picking that up, right? I'm the thermometer. My kids are even stronger thermometers. It's crazy how sensitive we are in our house. So I need to tune in and say, what is going on? And I started to do that right now. I'm thinking, what is going on? It's that fear. If I have a kiddo who has these explosions and he can't control it, and if he grows up and he's like that, what is going to happen to him as a 26-year-old? Is he going to get through college? Is he going to be able to hold through a job? Is he going to be able to live on his own? Is he going to have to live with, it's like all of these things, right? Why does that fear bubble up in me? What is that I need to look down in? And I started to think really about these kids that are coming in right now. They are so passionate. My kids were born. We call it El Pasión because I have this Argentinian side in my heritage, and it really flows with El Pasión. My kids were born with these strong pieces in them, and we can label it PDA, we can label it neurodiversity, we can label it highly sensitive children, we can label it, there's so many labels, gifted and talented, all of these pieces that ultimately come down to this for me. My kiddo has a way that, especially I see it more with my bigger kid right now, he's really voicing it because he's feeling that, that transition that they're going through into these adolescent periods, right? Of how he wants to be parented. And I've always said we have to tune into our hearts and tune into their souls and their connection that we have with them to see how we need to parent them. Because the stronger I get, if I get that fear base and I start to set these boundaries like, oh, I need to have these boundaries and this is how I'm going to parent. Sorry, I really get into it, El Pasión. He starts to fire up and flare up in himself of this is how I need to be parented. And I become more rigid. He becomes more rigid as well. And it's really interesting because I love to look back at Dolores Cannon did some of this when she was doing her channeling, and she would talk a lot about indigo children and starseed children and crystal children. It was really interesting that she would discuss these pieces of our kiddos that each era of children that have been coming with these gifts, it started, I believe, in the 60s when she started talking about indigo kids, and these kids were coming with these passions and these gifts, and each era has gotten louder and louder. And I feel like I'm a crystal child. This resonates with me. I have the healing piece. I have the teaching piece. I have the amazing connection with children, especially as a parent and as a mom. So as these kids are coming louder and louder, they're teaching us, right? They're helping us to heal ourselves. They're helping us to connect with other families, other parents, other parents going through this and other children going through this that are trying to stay connected with themselves into adulthood. So as we are going through this process of learning how we can parent our kids, learning how we can reparent ourselves, learning when something is being triggered inside of us of what is this fear that I am feeling that I need to control my kiddo, because this full moon is bringing up some pieces for myself. This full moon brought up some pieces for my kiddos where maybe my son wasn't feeling heard. Maybe he was going along and trying to be the best kid that he thought he could be. And then this moon brought up this independence in him of, Mom, I need you to see me for who I am. I need you to connect heart to heart, spirit to spirit, whatever you believe in your body as a human. I need you to see this side of me. I need you to connect and meet me where I'm at. Instead of trying to control me, instead of trying to, this is a big buzzword, condition me into what I'm supposed to be as a human or what you think I'm supposed to be as a human. I want you to help me, Mom. This is my kiddo telling me, and I'm hearing this from him. And recently, as I tune into myself, I'm hearing more and more, I need you to meet me where I'm at. And maybe if you can't do that right now, maybe there's pieces of you that you could heal, Mom. Maybe there's pieces of you that you could heal, partner, the other person in our house, or maybe our other kiddo is bringing up pieces of it as well. Maybe their relationship together, my two have been butting heads a lot. My 7-year-old and my 10-year-old have been hitting heads, sometimes literally. And that brings up, what is this showing us in our relationships? What is this showing? What is this bubbling up that we need to work on as a family, that we can work on as ourselves, that we can heal together in? It's a time that I think we can really reflect during these supermoons. We can really see, where are we in our parenting journey? Maybe we're a complete healed parent in our spiritual journey, and then things come up, guys, because we are humans living day to day. We are going through these ups and downs of busy December. But then we also have that end of year energy that's bubbling up and giving us these opportunities to heal and grow. So let's try to look at some of these challenges, challenging behaviors, challenging emotions that may bubble up in ourselves and our kids and our partners as opportunities to heal, grow, and learn in. So I have an affirmation prayer that I was really excited to share. I like to put my hand on my heart, my other hand on my stomach, and take deep breaths before, and say, "Thank you, universe, for guiding me to what I need to heal to better see my kids for who they are." I'm going to say that again. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to what I need to heal to better see my kids for who they are. Isn't that powerful to see them for who they truly are? They're coming in. And this era of kids, believe me, they are coming in stronger than we realize. And sometimes they come with labels. Sometimes they're just highly sensitive kids. Sometimes they're intuitively connected to themselves. And they're trying to tell us with their behaviors, their words, their energy, things they say to us physically, verbally say to us, that they want us to help them connect to themselves. They want to stay connected to themselves. They want us to see them for who they truly are so we can help them become the best versions of themselves. Wouldn't it be a powerful world if they grew up staying connected? They didn't have to change careers with a midlife. They didn't have to rediscover themselves. They could stay connected and find themselves the first time they went down that path. So it's something I'm reflecting on with this Supermoon journey that we're going on right now, and 2025 as it's coming to an end. If it's helpful for you, meditation, journaling, channel writing, movement, you can do meditation, but if meditation is hard for you, that nature walk outside, that walking or physical meditation, that can be a way to help you tune in so that you can hear these pieces. And don't forget self-care right now, because it is a busy energy period right now. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope this connects and resonates with you as we're raising these amazing and sometimes challenging kiddos right now. Peace and love.
Please remember that the information shared on this podcast is educational in nature and does not constitute licensed mental health advice. If you need such advice, you should speak with a licensed professional about your unique situation. Thanks so much, happy listeners.